Alright, so my new laptop showed up today, so I thought I'd put it through its paces by doing a video review, more like just casual rant talking about the game. I'm gonna try and keep this as a review similar to my SMT3 video, but I didn't stream this game, so there's not gonna be a lot to work with. But we have been playing the Warhammer games for a while, and we've kind of been looking at the Warhammer universe in the live streams, for a while now. It keeps popping up, so I figured we have enough context to talk about this, and I just wanted to test out the new PC or the new laptop's editing software, see how that goes. So, as you all know, I'm a big fan of turn-based strategy games. I love them. I've played quite a few of them on streams, but I did not play this game on stream. I started this game off before I decided to stream any Warhammer games. I'm currently streaming Mechanist on stream, although that hopefully will be done within a week or two. And I decided to play battlesector. Now, battlesector is a turn-based strategy game, but it plays similar to the actual board tabletop game of Warhammer, where you control a fuck ton amount of units, and it takes like 20 minutes to do a single fucking turn. Although, in fairness to battlesector, that problem doesn't happen as hard. In real life, you have to wait for your opponent and stuff, and you have to really strategize, wait, move them around, roll dice. In the battlesector game, it's a little more faster in that. So credit where credit's due there, but it can take a while. Some missions can go upwards of like 50 minutes, and it's mainly because you have so many units you have to move around. It just becomes tedious. So that's basically the game, more or less. It is turn-based strategy. It's mainly army focused, and it's rather nice gameplay wise. There was one big game-breaking fucking bug. This is one of the few times in my entire gaming career where I have experienced a bug that directly almost prevented me from beating the game. At some point during the game, the A button stops working, so the ability to confirm an action, regardless of shooting or anything of the like, just stops fucking working. And this happened to me on a mission 3 times in a row, and I had spent like 30 to 40 minutes on each attempt. So I go on the Reddit. Apparently, the last update broke the game. I'm recording this as of July 18th. So the last update apparently broke it for a month. There was one user who was able to figure out that if you activate something called the tactical map, which is just this this useless feature of just an overview grid map system, which I don't really think you need it for the game, but whatever, and you move around in that map and click A on your units, it will unblock your A button, and it worked. So I was able to beat the game, thankfully. But good lord, that was something. But yeah, that's the game, more or less. You move individual units a certain number, open fire, do Overwatch. Really fun stuff. Power creep in the game is incredibly bad, but we'll talk about that a little later. So with that said, let's start off with the story. The story of Warhammer 40k Battlesector begins with the Blood Angels being fucking eviscerated by the Tyrannid Swarm. You might have mentioned me talk about this in the live streams a little bit, but basically the way the game starts off, the Blood Angels, a sector of the Space Marines, are fighting for their lives against an alien hive mind monster known as Leviathan, from what I understand, that's just murdering everything in its path. And basically, as the Blood Angels are like, yeah, we're fucked, we're dead, by the blood of the angel, we are screwed, the warp opens up and swallows Leviathan whole. Now, I see this cutscene as someone who's not too familiar with the Warhammer 40k universe, but as someone who's heard Neo and others who know Warhammer on stream say Warhammer's like a tier 1A verse and shit like that, versus BattleWiki lingo for random people who show up. This is a power scaling channel. And I was like, okay, that's no problem, right? Leviathan's gone. He has been sucked into the 1A universe by the demon god Khorne. I think we're safe. I think we're good. Leviathan has been dealt with. The warp is some stupid bullshit that houses 1A individuals. It can adapt to your power, creating monsters based off your fucking actions. The more you kill, the stronger it gets. Alright, great. Leviathan has been solved. Let's kill the stragglers. And so that's how the game starts for its first act. You kill the stragglers. For the most part, you're just chillaxing, minding your own business. Except, I don't know if they tell you this right away or if they tell you this like 3 to 4 missions in. You get a report that apparently there's a synaptic network on the moon of Baal, if I'm not mistaken, where it's basically one of the moons of the main Blood Angel planet. And apparently this network is so advanced that the scholars of the Blood Angels are under the impression that if this isn't dealt with, Leviathan, you know that monster that got sucked away by one of the Chaos Gods themselves, those 1A beings that keep being told about, apparently he can come back. Apparently, even though he's been yanked away into a world of infinite war and destruction, essentially, infinite nightmares and all that good stuff, it can come back. And I was just there looking at that message on the screen like, that don't sound right, Chief. That's not what I was told. I was told that was done. I was told that these Chaos Gods are 1A. You telling me Leviathan's 1A now too? And even in the game, there's a guy who's like, that's impossible. There's no way Leviathan can come back. And then the main character, the lieutenant, we'll talk about him later, is just like, well, there are people wiser than you who are saying he can, so we're gonna deal with this problem before it happens. And I'm just like, these fucking Chaos Gods are over fucking rated. This warp is bullshit. Can't kill one fucking Leviathan. Some bullshit. Also, at the beginning of the game, they talk about fresh new Space Marines, because you find out very early on, I did not know this because I'm not familiar with Warhammer lore, that the Blood Angels have this urge to kill. Now, that seems a little weird, but I guess what happened is, during the Horus Heresy, what ended up happening was the Blood Angels, I guess as a result of that betrayal, were infused with such rage and hatred against Horus that at a certain point, a Blood Angel can lose themselves to something called the Black Rage, and will just start murdering everybody and everyone around them, thinking in their minds they're fighting Horus. You actually get a really nice scene later on with my boy Brother Quindar, who unfortunately does experience the Black Rage by the end. I'll put spoilers in the video. We'll talk more about Brother Quindar later. So basically, you meet up with this priest who didn't grab your friend's gene seed, and you're like, bro, did you just pussy out of doing your job? Bro, you gotta believe me. That Tyrannid, he could actually think, man. He wasn't just charging like a monster. Bro, shut the fuck up. We're gonna go get my homie's gene seed, and you're gonna do your fucking job, like, unlike being a fucking pussy. So basically, you go fight this one Tyrannid boss, and by the end of it, your character is like you kill the thing pretty easily. It's pretty stupid when you kill it, this first boss, and the priest is like, yo, that's not right, that's not what happened last time. And your character's like, it's okay, man, there's no fucking way my bro could have been fucking murdered by this fucking no brain ass looking Tyrannid looking scum. So we're gonna fucking find out what really happened, and we're gonna deal with this shit. I think like 3 missions later, you pick up Brother Quindar and a Tech Marine. I think his name is Sycurus or something. He doesn't talk. The Tech Marine doesn't talk all that much because Brother Quindar is one of the 3 main narrators of the story. So you mainly just hear Brother Quindar talk. But the Tech Marine is fantastic. Fucking love him. He doesn't talk, but we'll talk about the hero units later. So you meet up with these 3, and Brother Quindar's like, hey, yo, bro, we gotta help this man. I can see it in the future of the warp or whatever the fuck kind of. I think he's a psionic or psychic or some shit like that. I forgot what they're fucking called in Warhammer. 1 second. Okay, I believe he's called a psyker. Technically, he's a corpse in a coffin. He's dead. He's in a mech suit, which apparently is where the dead go to serve in the Blood Angels. I don't know if this is for every Space Marine Legion, but he's basically a walking coffin. So you join him you join them, and Brother Quindar basically becomes your guide throughout the game. He's the one who's like sensing the synaptic network for you to go hunt down, and you're just like, all right, bros, listen to Brother Quindar, let's go get this bitch. So that takes you through a pretty decent chunk of the campaign until you encounter not the worst character, but the worst faction in the game by far, the Battle Sisters. I'll talk about the leader of the Battle Sisters in depth later, but basically you meet the Battle Sisters. You know, I gotta talk about this. So the first mission, you meet the Battle Sisters. You're being told about how amazing the Battle Sisters are. And I don't know who the fuck over there, when they designed this game, decided this decision. Because they don't do it for just one mission. It's every fucking mission with the Battle Sisters. When you get some new fucking units for them. For some godforsaken reason. So most of the time you get new units in this game, when they give them to you in the mission, they kind of serve a purpose. You can kind of see their usefulness. For some fucking reason, they decided to make the Battle Sisters be on the entire opposite side of a fucking war zone with like fucking 50 Tyrannids on all sides. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's a lot of Tyrannids. And they're armored Tyrannids now at this point. And you're already wearing you've already got like armor piercing, you got mech units and shit, and you're kind of just looking at this like, okay, they're gonna be fucking murdered unless I bust my ass and just run through it, risking my troops' lives to save these worthless ass units, because the Battle Sisters are fucking worthless at the start for sure. But so what happens is I'm like, all right, let's see what they'll do. We'll play it a little safe, and then the Battle Sister proceeds to they just get fucking murdered. But I have to save at least one of them, I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, I think the mission's failed. So as soon as I see how piss poor they're doing under the assault of the Tyranids, I'm like, they have no armor piercing. Okay, they're worse than my basic Space Marine with upgrades, and they're pretty fucking bad by comparison. Okay, they have less health than an average Space Marine. Okay, but they gain a special blue like energy bar that lets you take a second action if you get to 100 by getting hit. Okay, that sounds pretty good. But they can't take a hit to save their fucking lives. They shoot for shit, and they have no upgrades right now. And we're just going to throw them in the middle of a Tyranid swarm. Go save them. And I'm just like, good fucking God. So I managed to save one of them, and they fucking got slaughtered. My men are fucking clearing out these Tyranids like it's nobody's business. But these fucking Battle Sisters, they got fucking destroyed. Like, fuck me, it was terrible. So I go to them, right, and I finished the mission. And I played this mission like fucking, I think 3 weeks ago, but I still remember this because of how the audacity of this bullshit. And the lieutenant's like, hey, great job, you Battle Sisters are actually pretty good. Let's go make sure your commander's okay since she crash landed somewhere. You know, let's go save her. And the Battle Sister's like, or maybe our commander will save you, Lieutenant. And I'm just looking at her like, you guys didn't even crash land, and you were the most disgraceful fucking squad I have seen in this fucking game. And that's including some of the suicide guys later on. You need to shut the fuck up, and we'll see what happens from there. So the very next mission you go to... I'm sorry, I have to talk about this. The very next mission you go to meet the Battle Sister leader, and I see that they've crash landed, only 3 fucking squads and 1 leader unit. Okay, so this is the new Battle Sister, you know, commander unit. I'm like, alright, pretty good. Let's see what they'll do. So, same problem again. Armor Tyranids on all sides, giant fucking monsters, no armor piercing on the Battle Sisters, no upgrades, and the Battle Sister leader. Now, as fucked as this is, I don't remember no, I think I remember what she says by the end of the mission. So, of course, all the fucking Battle Sisters die because they can't hold their fucking own. It's not their fault. They're fighting giant armor Tyranid monsters. The game designer should have given them some better armor piercing to work with, or some better stats at the start, because fuck me, they are just getting slaughtered out there. Their only benefit is they're cheaper than the male Space Marines, and even then, I'll still take basic male Space Marines. They're more accurate, and they have more uses of their special ability. I'll talk a little more about that later. And so we go save them, and then we get kind of a bitch, kind of not. I thought she was kind of a bitch when we first get this female Space Marine leader. I don't remember her name. I only remember Brother Quindar's name because he spoke for like 70% of the fucking game, and they kept talking about Brother Quindar all the time, my boy Quindar. So don't take that personally if anyone watches this like, oh, just because it's a fucking Battle Sister. No, I just don't remember any of their names but Brother Quindar, my boy Quindar. Anyways, so we talked to her, and the main character, and this is where I feel like the game was gaslighting me. Because the main character's like, I see the skills of the sororitas are not overstated. And I'm looking at this motherfucker as I see the corpses of the Battle Sisters all around me like, was the skill of the Battle Sisters to be fucking carpet for a battlefield? Was it to be fucking a meat shield wall to be built up? Because it sure as hell wasn't to get any kills or skills, because the game designers decided not to give these fuckers armor piercing. To be clear, you can upgrade the Battle Sisters to get Holy Bullets, which do have armor piercing and do make them a lot better. In fact, with the Holy Bullets, I think their full upgrade chain, they might be better than the base Space Marine males. But the problem is that the Holy Bullets can only be used twice per fucking game. So any long-lasting battle with them, they kind of just get fucked. Whereas the male Space Marines always have the ability to enhance their attack at least, every other turn. As far as I remember, that has no limits. If I'm wrong about that, and anyone played the battlesector game, please, correct me in the comments below. They're still less tanky than the male guys, but they do have the ability to gain more armor per damage, which it's only at 50% rate though, but if you're lucky, they can tank hits pretty significantly. But that's only with upgrades. They don't get that at the start. So I don't know why the fuck they're throwing the worst possible scenarios. And so basically they're like, oh yeah, the Battle Sisters, great skill. And I'm just like, game, what the fuck are you talking about? Game, these fuckers were nothing but meat shields. And even then, my units were better meat shields than them. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I thank God I had some mech units by that point to really clear things out, but fuck me. Anyways, so the last time you meet the new Battle Sister units, they finally get a jetpack unit. And you're like, okay, maybe it's okay. Maybe the Adeptus Sororitas can actually come back and do something. Nope. Because you get them, like, I think 4 missions before the end of the game. And on top of that, you once again have the problem of the fucking game developers putting these units in the worst possible position. Because once again, they're surrounded on all sides. You're on the other side of the battlefield. And you have to go run to them to try and save them. Because you can't make them run to you. Because they're covered by giant armored Tyranids on all sides. Again, they do not have armor piercing. Although by this point, you would have holy bullets. But at least in my run, it still didn't do much of fucking anything. They were still getting slaughtered out there. And the jetpack units are not any better. No armor piercing, no nothing. Just kind of like pray they can run away fast enough. I think by the end, I was able to reach these Battle Sisters, and they were able to secure, I think maybe like, I was able to save 3 of them, maybe tops. And I was just there thinking to myself, like, the game's gonna sit here and tell me the Battle Sisters are fucking amazing. No, I remember how this mission ended. So you find out, so just to be clear, up until this point, nothing really too crazy has gone on story-wise. You've just been killing Tyranids, clearing out forts and stuff. You find out Brother Quindar is getting more and more active with the Black Death. Like, he's kind of on a timer, so that kind of puts you in a rush to try and clear the campaign, at least in the story's lore, quicker. And then you go fucking meet, and then you go do this mission. We're 4 missions away. The last 4 missions were great. The last mission itself was fucking trash. The final boss fight was garbage. I'll bitch about that a little bit when we get to it. So, we hear the Battle Sisters, we save them, and the main character, I think the lieutenant, is like, you should stay here with your sisters, you know, help them recover. It's a dangerous moon. They fought well. You thank you for your invaluable service. Now, first off, I'm like, invaluable service to whom? To the Tyranids for wasting my fucking time? Invaluable service to fucking Korn? Because I'm sure whatever the shoe fuck was doing, Korn would have been proud of. Invaluable service to who, Lieutenant? Because it wasn't to our fucking division. She's the worst hero unit they give us by far. I'm going to be honest. Again, I did try and upgrade her, but I'll talk a little more about the hero units later and why I think she was the worst one. And I'm just there like, so who the hell fuck was she invaluable service to? Was her invaluable service to bring her meat shield along? You know what? Thank you. She saved some good units. So as I'm there just looking at this, because the game's just gaslighting me at this point, because the game keeps telling me the Adeptus Sororitas are really good. They're not. They're barely average, especially late game, because at late game you're running fucking mech units and fucking plasma users. My ancestors, I believe, fucking those boys, fucking chef's kiss. Plasma fucking, I think Hellblasters, chef's kiss. Don't even get me started on the Ball Predator. Oh boy. But no, so going back through it. So yeah, and she's like, my sisters are strong enough to handle themselves, Lieutenant. I swore I would help you to the very end, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just there like, your sisters would have fucking died if it wasn't for our help again. Again. And again. Damn. I can't think of a single mission you Battle Sisters were worth a fucking damn. I'm sorry. I just had to, because the Battle Sisters were fucking trash. And then she has the fucking audacity. Okay, so you get through this shit, just clearing out some things, and then you get to mission number 4. Yeah, no, I think it's the last 5 missions I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's the last 5 missions I'm thinking. Yes. So I think mission number 5 is when you meet the Death Company. This was one of the best the last couple of missions of the game were some of the best moments. So what you find out is there's a group of Blood Angels who, it's not clear if they've given themselves up to the Black Rage, but they've basically been fighting since Leviathan was there. So in all the time you guys had to rest in this campaign to move across the moon, these Blood Angels were fighting non-stop, and the brutality, you can feel it. You can feel that they've basically become fucking animals of war, and it's awesome. But then this bitch, this Battle Sister, has the audacity to be like, what the fuck is... Her best moment by far was when she was fucking shook up by the Blood Angels' fucking darker side. Because she's like, these are animals, what the fuck is this? and your lieutenant's like, hey sister, calm the fuck down. If it wasn't for these guys fighting since Leviathan was here, your sisters would have been dead. And then he says to his men, like, don't be sorry for these men. Their sacrifice will be remembered by the angel. And then you go and then the mission objective for this one I loved was kill the Death Company. So let the Death Company find an honorable end. So I don't know how many people did this. I don't know if you save it. But fuck me, that I let them die, and I'm just like, that is such a top tier fucking mission objective. That shit right there is the good shit. And so there I was. I let the Blood Angel, I let the fucking the Black Death die, and all the Blood Angels are kind of like, you weren't supposed to see that, sister. I'm sorry. And then as soon as the mission ends, they're like, hey, she's seen too much. We're gonna have to kill her. And the captain's like, you know what? Or the lieutenant, not the captain, my apologies. The lieutenant's like, you know what? I hear you, mate, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's just deal with the synaptic network. My boss is calling me saying I'm a fucking failure, and every hour we waste is an hour of Dante's honor lost. Let's just go clear this out. So then you fucking go into one of the last 3 missions were great. Or no. Yeah. So then you do this one. Then you do another mission where you finally meet the final boss, and it performs air strafing attacks. Fuck this mission, really fucking annoying, but it was still cool nonetheless to meet this new threat head on. I guess this is their special like call-in command abilities. Really cool stuff. I did not do the side objective for Brother Quindar, but Brother Quindar I guess can see the past, present, and future, because he's like, Lieutenant, take me to the cliffside where you saw life as a child. And I'm there like, Quindar, what the fuck are you smoking? Unfortunately, by this point, Quindar is right at the verge of the Black Rage. Like you hear him say, like, I have to kill the traitors. I have to wait, no, there are no traitors. Not yet. I still have to lead them to the synaptic network. I'm coming, my brothers, but not yet. And so then you do one last mission where he leads you through it, and unfortunately, saddest moment of the game for me. Rest in peace, Brother Quindar. Brother Quindar loses himself to the Black Rage and charges in, destroying like apparently a bunch of Tyranids before the main Tyranid leader kills him. And so the second to last mission is as the Blood Angels. You guys are all like, nah. Fuck that. Don't let a single Tyranid touch his body. That boy has led us to the conclusion, and he died an honorable death and didn't kill a single one of us in his Black Rage. You make sure that boy gets a proper burial. So next mission is you just have to hold off and protect Brother Quindar's body from a bunch of fucking Tyranid swarms. Really cool mission. And then the last mission fucking sucked. So the last mission starts off great. You finally find the synaptic network after all this time. You finally can face off against the might of the Tyranid horde at its strongest. They introduce 2 brand new units to work with. And then my ball predators, my librarians, and my boys the Ancestors and Hellblasters were just like, oh, is that armor you got on you? Oh, so you wanted to lose then. I actually fucking got a little bit of a little scare moment because my ball predators have been stomping out ass left and right here. And so my ball predators run into these new enemies and they just get blasted with lightning that deals super hard damage to them, like fucking their armor. And I'm just like, oh shit, pull the fuck back. I did lose 1 unit in this mission, and this was the only unit I lost. For the most part, I didn't really save scum the game. I just played safe. And I only lost to do some bullshit. But anyway, so you have to kill 3 hive bodyguards. And then you have to kill the hive leader. But the problem is that the hive leader's on the map from the start. So I killed the hive leader first because it came at me. And then I killed the 3 guards. And for a minute, the game was confused. And so was I. I was like, oh, is there going to be a second hive leader coming in? No, the game ended and that was it. And I was like, oh. That was the final boss, huh? Probably was the least memorable boss in the entire fucking run, except for how disappointing it was. But alright, that was the final boss. So at the end of the fucking thing, you let the Tech Marine go to, give my boy Quindar his burial. And then you have to talk about the Battle Sister. And I don't like how this worked out. Because she's been kind of a bitch, but she has been she has been loyal. And so she's like, I trust you'll let me go just as easily, right? I did help you guys after all. You're not going to kill me because I know things I shouldn't. And the priest is like, bro, just kill her. We have to kill her. She knows too much. But your lieutenant, and I think this is a sign of his growth as a commander, is like, nah, don't kill her. She's earned her life. he even says by the end of it, I think this kind of implies she'll keep her mouth shut. Is like, go report what you have to, sister. And then she just leaves. I think it would have been a little better if maybe, he had actually pulled the gun out on her. We see her kind of break her, tough demeanor. Because she's a lot better when she's more human. Because keep in mind, as far as I know, the Battle Sisters are not adept. They're not fucking manufactured super soldiers. The fucking Battle Marines or the Space Marines are. So it's kind of weird that she's acting all tough around people who were bred for combat. It's like me walking up to the Master Chief and being like, yeah, I'm just as good as you if I've survived several wars. I'm not saying she's trash, well, at least lore-wise. But it's still kind of like, you're talking about people whose sole purpose is to be built to be fucking murdered. Maybe you should tone it down a little bit with the badassery there, okay? But you let her go, and then fucking at the end it's like, alright, we did our job here. Now we just gotta move on and fucking see how far the rest of this story goes. So you basically go off to clear out more Tyranids across other moons and just move on from there. Good shit. So, covering the leader units now for a moment, because I'm not going to cover every single main unit, although I will talk about maybe a few examples of some things. So the leader units, you have the lieutenant, who has a chainsword and a pistol. You can upgrade it. He has some cool abilities. He's only really useful because of his jetpack, and this is where we gotta talk about the battle sister leader, and why she's fucking trash. The battle sister leader is trash because while she's more accurate than the male space marine, I've noticed, especially on reaction shots, she has very terrible mobility because she has no jetpack, unless you can upgrade to get her a jetpack. And melee-wise, she gets replaced by so many other characters. A lot of normal units are just better than she is. And they have more mobility on top of that. You can't give her a plasma pistol and an energy sword, which I'm pretty sure would make her a lot better, but she still lacks the mobility to be fucking useful. She was the worst leader unit by far, but that's not too fair to her, because her competition was Brother Quindar, who's a mech unit who can tank a fuck ton of hits and deal a fuck ton of damage. A guy with a jetpack who does everything she does, but slightly better, and also has the ability to fly around the map at a faster rate than she can, and while she's technically equal, if not better, damage-wise than the Tech Marine and the Med and the fucking Priest, she's competing with my two healers, who I need to use almost every turn to keep my units alive, and who can actually keep my units alive. She never stood a fucking chance. She was the worst by far, just by virtue of lack of utility and mobility, and lack of damage when squaring up against Brother Quindar overall. She is, personality-wise, the Lieutenant's great. Nice, down-to-earth, gritty war veteran who has introspection, is aware of the demand of him, and is a little, concerned about if he can actually do it or not. The Priest is just a standard young priest. He's pretty cool. He has some insight. He does grow a bit as a character, but he doesn't talk really enough to really warrant much about him. The Tech Marine suffers under the same conditions. The Tech Marine's kind of, I think he was a bit of an asshole, but honestly I can't remember because he doesn't talk all that often, and even when he does, he's usually talking about shit he directly knows, so it's usually not that big of an issue. Besides the Lieutenant, it's Brother Quindar, who is trying to lead people along, but gives you this story of a man who knows damn well he's losing it. He knows damn well that his time's running out, and he even mentions repeatedly that the Tech Marine is watching him, because even the Tech Marine knows that this fucker's on his last leg. We gotta deal with this shit quick. Brother Quindar was great. Then you have the Battle Sister, because for some fucking reason, of all the characters you get, they decided to make the Battle Sister the third narrative character. She starts out kind of like a bitch, talking about shit that we should already know. And keep in mind, I know the Battle Sisters are well experienced in lore, and I know they're supposed to be really competent, but she's all like, we have to kill all the Tyranids, or if even a spore makes it through, this will be doomed. The Space Marines don't care to look into the crevices of things. Me, hearing this bitch say that as I've been battling fucking Tyranids for over 10 hours by this point maybe. Fucking over here having to fight Tyranids that come out of the ground, spawn out of nowhere, fighting the worst of it, thinking to myself, this bitch is really gonna sit here and lecture me on Tyranids. This bitch is, and that's her biggest problem, I think, at least for me personally, is that you got this fucking young hotshot upstart telling me about shit that I've seen with my own two fucking hands. I fucking fought these Tyranids. I've seen some shit. And I got this bitch basically telling me how fucking trash we are. And then she starts talking, like, she starts being insightful, and she's not, like, just a pure bitch. Like, it's because she's not wrong. She just has the worst fucking attitude paired with the worst fucking introductory missions possible. If when she showed up, she was a badass from word go, I think maybe I'd have a bit of a different opinion about her. But she talks like someone who should command respect, but you haven't seen a damn thing to fucking warrant it. I'm just like, bitch, shut the fuck up and stay in the corner. Maybe if you're lucky, I'll remember to move you, because sometimes I'd actually forget to move her because, like, well, I mean, I'm too busy moving my Space Marines. And then sometimes she's just by herself, and I'm like, oh fuck, I did have that. Yeah, I should do something about that. And so that was how that situation ended up going. Oh, good lord. And you know, it was kind of nice, because she does, as you see her more in action, she did earn her place a lot better, I would say. And every time she opened her mouth, I wasn't thinking to myself, what the fuck is wrong with this bitch? Her units were still the worst by far. She was still the worst leader unit by far, because she might have been, I think if you fully level her up, she'll probably be better than the lieutenant and the healer and the tech marine in combat. The problem is she doesn't have the mobility for it. Her buff is nice, but it's not really game changing. Not like the heals of the lieutenant or the armor increases of the tech marine. Not the lieutenant. The lieutenant doesn't heal. I meant the fucking priest and the fucking tech marine. It just got to the point where I was just looking at this bitch like, you're just a waste of space. Please just shut the fuck up. No, I'm kidding. She got a lot better near the end, but at first, fuck me, she was insufferable. Of all the units, honestly, I'm pretty sure I'm thinking of the Ancestors. Let me make sure on this one. Because there was one unit I fucking got, who were fucking, they were jetpack dual-wielding pistols. And I think is it the Inceptors or Incestors? Is it Inceptors? I think it's Inceptors. Yeah, the Inceptors were fucking top tier. Oh man, fucking, I love the Inceptors. They were, I think, my favorite unit. Good jetpack mobility, give them plasma weapons, they can shred basically fucking everything. Follow this up. They were an upgrade to the Assault Squadron, who had chain swords and pistols, and that was fine, but the game couldn't leave well enough alone. It wasn't just, let's upgrade the Assault Squadron into fucking dual-wielding blaster pistols. Let's release DLC that makes better fucking assault squadrons in the form of Dante's Royal Guard, which I did buy to test them out. They're kind of nice. But even worse than that, let's make the fucking the Death Squad, or the Death Squadron, who are literally just the assault squadron, but have other abilities. And I'm just like, wow, you fuckers got power. Lords of the Assault Doctrine, I believe you called yourselves. I could be wrong on that one, because I stopped using them like halfway through the fucking game. Yeah, they got power creep to fucking hell. The Hell Blasters, I remember bitching the Mangler about fucking plasma being inaccurate as shit in that game. And it is in close range. But once I figured out how to actually fucking use it, oh man, Hell Blasters, fucking treat. You only get one medic for most of the game. That's the priest. But by the end of the game, you get copies of the medic. You get a second priest you can get. So you get a copy of the healing unit, and you get a copy of the tech marine unit to heal up your units more. So you by, like, I think in the last 4 or 5 missions, you get potentially 2 healers and 2 tech marines. I think you can maybe get 3 if you really stretch it. I don't think so, because certain units have a cooldown after you requisition one. And I was just thinking to myself, like, oh, so you're telling me when you play, like, skirmish or something, this is the healer unit, not your, healer unit here, your fucking main character. Alright, that's fine. And yeah, that was about it for fucking units, except for the good old Ball Predator. Oh my god, the Ball Predator was fucking amazing. It was a fucking tank, and the second I got it, I fell in love, because good god, it could fucking take hits, it could kill everything, and I was just there like, where were you? Where were you? I could have used you from the start. Where were you? Power creep is really bad in this game, especially if you want to try and limit your unit count. You want to go for the stronger units right away so that we don't have to move as many fucking units, because fuck me, you can get some pretty silly counts by the end of the game. And yeah, no, that's about it. The game was pretty good. Units were nice. I have not played as the Tyranids, nor have I played the skirmish mode. This is just my thoughts on the campaign, more or less, and the gameplay there. It takes way too fucking long for a lot of missions, and this is even in the turn-based strategy genre, mind you, because keep in mind, in turn-based strategy, we already have the problem of this shit being fucking long missions, but man, these felt tedious at times. Overall, I'd give like a solid maybe 7. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 because of the game-breaking bug and the times fights can take. If it wasn't for the game-breaking bug, I think a solid 8 out of 10. And even then, I think discounting, counting the time frame against it is a little unfair because I think that's what they were going for. So if that's what they were going for, they did succeed in their goal, and as such, they should be commended for that. So. With that said, thank you guys for seeing my rant. Thank you guys for your time as well. Also, the music was great, but I kind of didn't really care too much for it. Sound design was really solid as well. Map designs and atmosphere was good, but nothing really too crazy. Again, I was more invested in the characters and the combat, which for a turn-based strategy game this fucking long and this tedious is very impressive, I would say. I wouldn't recommend buying it, at least not now, especially since they're making so many updates to it. Maybe give it like a year or two when they make it like a complete edition, or if you have Game Pass, just give it a try. If you like turn-based strategy games, and keep in mind that this one will be longer and more tedious than the ones you see me streaming. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for your time as always. Have a nice day. I'll see you guys on the next streamer video. Take care, everybody.